All right, y'all. So I promise, if it were up to me, if it were up to me, I will literally just pop up with a law firm, and you guys be like, wait, when did she go to law school? Like, I'm queen. At least I grew up queen of show don't tell. I didn't announce anything that I was doing. I was just did it, right? But how does obedience is set up, right? Like, God had me out here telling all my business. I'm typically reserved, private person. However, if my testimony can help someone, cool. Whether it's today, 5 years from now, whenever. Um, I'm starting to become comfortable sharing my life, even though it gets a little uncomfortable sometimes. But I just don't want people to think, and at the end of the day, I really don't care what you think, but I truly hope you guys hear my heart and know that I'm not out here just telling you my business just because I think I'm cool, because none of this feel cool at all. I'd rather just keep to myself. Anyway, this morning I came to the realization that God is literally supplying my every need. And I know that sounds so cliche, but what I believe my needs are, I realize are different from what God thinks my needs are, because He's literally, although I feel like my needs kind of, they feel way more than what God is providing, financially, I should say, at least. Like He's providing, He's continuing to provide. He has all my needs met. And this morning, it just dawned on me, like, I say that I feel like I'm struggling, but I'm not. I'm not struggling because He's continuing to provide. And I'm going to give you a couple examples. So I got to Charlotte. I had $40 in the bank. $40 in the bank, no place to live. Right? Beverly, how do you put yourself in a situation? Listen, I go when God says go. And plus, I was able to I put my trust in Him because there were two other trips that I took to the East Coast earlier in the year. I had no money. However, out of obedience, I went anyway, and money came from nowhere. It showed up. I did what I had to do. I trusted God. He provided. And so I didn't think this would be any different. Yes, it's on a larger scale. I literally had to move my life here. But, I trusted God. I left with $250. I thought it was going to cost me at least $300 in gas to get here. Nope. It cost me $200. I have $40 when I got here. No place to stay, no place to live. I was just literally out here. I think I was about like 2 or 3 hours out from Charlotte. I'm like, okay, God, I'm out here. What's next? What you got for me? Where am I gonna stay? Sure enough, a friend of mine, Crystal, who lives in Georgia, two hours away. She calls me and she says, um, her daughter booked a role in a movie that they're shooting in Charlotte. And she's like, I know you're probably low on funds. Why don't you stay with us tonight? That way you can save your money. Yo, if that wasn't God, I was like, okay, cool. When I tell y'all, I've been here, I got here with $40 and I have not gone a day without a roof over my head. Like, when you are obedient and you trust in God and you're doing what He's saying, He's going to provide. Okay, so let me just get back to okay, so I had a place to stay. Not only that, but I was able to network with the production company because I'm a writer, right? And there may be some potential work later on down the road. It was just like two, three birds killed with one stone. A couple of days, I think like the next day, I got money. Friends started sending me money out of nowhere. So that took care of an Airbnb for the next couple of days. Mind you, I figured I'd somehow get the money to stay in Airbnb until it was time for me to stay, to rent out this place that God literally showed me. That just so happens, nothing is by accident. It just so happens to be on the same street of the Airbnb that I stayed in back in the spring when I just, out of the blue, came to Charlotte. I went to Richmond, Virginia to do some research on some family land. And within that journey, felt God pulling me to Charlotte. And I was like, okay, I'll just go to Charlotte to drive around and see why I feel led to Charlotte. I found this Airbnb in the south side of town. I stayed in this Airbnb. Beautiful. I love the area. Long story short, when it was time for me to start looking for places to live, he showed me the specific place. He showed me the outside of the place. And then when I did the research, I found exactly where it was supposed to be. It is literally on the same street as the Airbnb I stayed in back in the spring. Crazy. I'm not crazy, miraculous. And so in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'll just like figure out Airbnb for the first couple weeks, and then I'll eventually, God's going to make a way for me to stay in this place. So in the meantime, money's coming from friends. I did, however, had to ask somebody for like $100. Well, I asked for $200. They gave me $100. Thank you. Like, grateful for that. And then after that, I had like nothing. I literally on a Sunday I was on E, had nothing in my bank, and I was just like, Lord, if I could just get to this church, maybe somebody can help me. Just give me some gas money or something. So it is crazy because like I feel like God had to put me in that situation, because I don't think I would have asked for help, or I don't think I would have said anything if he didn't put me in a place where I literally had like no choice but to ask somebody. Literally zero in the bank on E. I get to the church after the service. Someone who I met. Actually, I gotta back up. The Sunday before that was my second day in Charlotte. My second day in Charlotte, I walk into this church. Mind you, this is a church that my friend Crystal had sent me on Instagram. She sent me a post that the pastor had posted that was just relevant to my situation, and it just so happened to be in Charlotte. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna visit them when I get there. I get there, second day in Charlotte. I walk in the church. The pastor has on an Ohio State hoodie. Ohio State, y'all, and for those of you that don't know, that's my alma mater. Like, if that one confirmation, I don't know. So fast forward to the next Sunday, zero money in the bank. I'm on E, and I'm like, yo, I'm just like trying my best not to start crying. Like, I walk in and I'm just like, so like trying to keep my composure, but I was crying all through the service. But anyway, after the service, a woman asked me, are you okay? I was like, girl, I'm on E. I have no money. I haven't heard back from the job I was supposed to have. And she was like, she blessed me with some money, and then sure enough, the first lady came up to me after service, was like, are you okay? I'm like, I need help. It's like, I have nothing. I don't know what to do. And so they blessed me with some gas and some groceries, and just, me to be able to stay somewhere for a week. And it was just like, God supplies your every need, even when it's through people, even when it's through ways you never expect. I mean, he will put you in situations. He put myself in a situation where I literally had like no choice but to open my mouth, because I've never been in a position where I've had to ask for as much help as I've had to ask for in the last few months, or just in this year. And so this morning, when I was thinking about how God is supplying all my needs, I I was trying to figure out like this distractions, like of me not having what I feel like I need financially, because I have my LSAT exam this afternoon. I started back in May, and I feel like I've just been kind of distracted, or trying not to be distracted. And I'm wondering if it's the enemy distracting me, or is it God testing me to see if He can trust more, if He can get more out of me, if I can do multiple things at once, because there are multiple things He wants me to do. I feel like He's checking to see if He can trust me, to not be distracted. I don't know, that's just how I think. I just don't know if it's the enemy, don't know if it's God, um, but I'll get clarity on that. But I'm just thinking, with this big task coming up this afternoon, that everything leading up to it, I was just kind of reflecting back, and I'm like, I'm not struggling. Like, God has provided everything. And so the place that's supposed to be available, that I'm supposed to be renting out, is available this weekend. It was first said it wasn't going to be available till this past Monday, but then the date changed, and so now it's not going to be available until this weekend. I have no way of getting it. I have no way of paying for it as of right now. Um, it's not in my bank account. So, but I know what God can do. I know what He's continuing to do. I mean, He's tried and true, and I've been trusting Him, and He's been showing up. So I'm actually kind of excited to see how me renting out this place is going to work, because it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But He said it, so He's going to do it. So stay tuned to see if I get this place this weekend. Let's see.